Oh, welcome back everybody. Oh, it's dark outside. Thank you all for returning to my channel. I do really appreciate it. I've got a little bit of a different one today, a little bit of an old take back story from back in the day. I'm just going to be talking about how a YouTube video actually got me kicked out of school. And like, that sounds really clickbaity, but it is essentially what happened. I mean, this story is from probably about 2000 and I want to say 17. No, it would have been 2016. Whenever I was year 10 at school. So yeah, 2016. So yeah, think about it. Take yourself back to that summer Euros, the one where England got knocked out. Oh no, we beat Wales but got knocked out by Iceland. Like, so we're talking a long time ago this happened now. Like, if you want any proof of how long I've actually been around on YouTube, I think that's almost worrying that I've been around for that long. And that wasn't even, I've been doing YouTube for a while back then, so it wasn't even like it was fresh out the rip. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent here. So it's the summer, just coming up to summer. I'm in year 10, and over in England we have to do these GCSEs. Now, normally you do your GCSEs when you're like the year after, so year 11, so you're 16, whereas I was only 15 at this time. And no, it's not because I was super smart that I was doing them early, but at my school, for some reason, you did just one of the, or half of your science ones in year 10 instead of doing all of the science ones in year 11. I don't know if it was like that for every school, but that's what happened with mine. So anyways, it's just coming up to this time, and at this point, like, I had a fairly, like, I'd say decently successful YouTube channel for 2016 standards. Like, oh my god, stop shooting me. Like, I'm not talking like I was one of the biggest, but I think I had a channel with around 6,000 subscribers, and like, it was a fairly active audience. And back in the day, that was all you could ask for, especially when I was that young. I was loving it. And me and my mates, almost every single day, I'm just going to turn the music off because it is actually really annoying. I'm going to have it like that. Still peaceful. So back in the day, me and my mates, almost every day after school, like, they would be in my videos quite a bit. It wasn't like, I heard loads of people that had horror stories with doing YouTube at school as a kid and they just got bullied and stuff. I never really got bullied. Like, yeah, people took the mick out of it, but everyone, I think, kind of almost rated it and enjoyed it. I think, if anything, my missus now, she takes more of the piss out of my old videos than anyone has before. So me and my mates would come back to mine almost every day after school just to make YouTube videos. Like, we would do anything. We were really heavily into trickshotting on Call of Duty at the time. Like, we had our own clan. It was called Wiser Clan. I really doubt anyone watching this has ever heard of that. But even that, I think we had about 1,000 subscribers on that. So yeah, we were all heavily into the YouTube scene and just trying to almost make it. But we would do videos like, I remember there was this one, it was, we challenged ourselves to eat this disgusting chili, then like do a shot of sweet chili sauce and then just top it off with lemon juice. Because at that time, it was just like, what can I put my body through in order for me to make it viral on YouTube? There had been so much inspiration from these YouTubers, the TGF bros. I remember seeing their Nettle Olympics with KSI, where basically those guys just jumped in stinging nettles and just self-tortured themselves. And my 16-year-old brain watches that sort of stuff and goes, that's class, I want to do that. So we were doing all these challenges, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna hop on a pretty standard video trend, like the what I hate about school. So anyway, my mates come around my house. He actually wasn't really in the video, he was just lurking in the background. He couldn't be asked for it, he was just waiting for his mum to pick him up. He's in the background of the video, and then I'm just there and I'm just ranting and raving about all of the things I hate about school. Now, there was a few mistakes I made in this video that led to me getting kicked out that I'll go into in a bit more detail. So don't just think, oh, he's been kicked out for that. There was a couple other details, but essentially I made a YouTube video titled just simply 5 things I hate about school. And instead of doing like the normal generic stuff that you would normally do, like normally you'd be like, I hate homework, Yeah, we all do. No one cares. I went a bit more personal about my school, just in terms of loads of tiny details that they probably didn't want parents hearing. I think one of them, the one they were getting really annoyed about, is so when it rains in the UK, which is basically half of the year, if not more, you get this thing called wet break, which is where you just go sit in the classrooms and just doss around in the classrooms. Now, my school were being really anal about it. So, because to be fair to them, like looking back on it now, 8 or whatever years later, I could see why. If you put a bunch of 16-year-olds in a classroom on a lunch break, we're just going to be doing everyone's head in, just pure mischief. So I can see why, but they would, half the time they wouldn't let us do this wet break, so we would just be stood just getting pissed on outside, and I called them out for that, which this video ended up going like pretty viral in terms, I think it ended up with about 40,000 views, and I imagine most of them were from it getting shared from like the local area. Like I have a suspicion the video got put up on like the local Facebook group. So the school have found out about this video, and I actually remember, this is a funny story about it. So there was a comment on it, and it was someone had made an account of our head teacher, and they've made this account of the head teacher, commented on my video saying take the video down, and obviously I'm thinking, nah, never him. It wasn't him, but this was a couple of days before I got in trouble, and I'm thinking, nah, there's no way any of them are ever going to see this. Like, why would they? So there's me not one bit stressed in the world, when really I probably should have been. And if I had just fallen for that comment and taken the video down, I could have saved myself a whole heap of issues. So a couple of days go by anyway after that video's been let up, and I remember I was sat in a history lesson, and I remember I had done something to my hand, so writing really hurt. So I've been waiting the whole time to get on the teacher's computer just to write my little bit of an essay, and finally after about 40 minutes I'm finally allowed on there so I can do some work. And to be fair, I wouldn't have been really complaining about not doing work. Anyways, I'm allowed on this computer, and I've just logged in, and then someone comes in and they're like, we want to speak to, I'm not going to bait my name, but they were like, we want to speak to you. And I'm like, me? Okay. So I'm going to the office, and at this point, like, I didn't even think the video could be anything serious. I'm like, what can they do? I've just made a YouTube video about things I hate about school. I'm walking to the office, and I get there, and then the mate that had been in the background of the video sat outside, so I've kind of looked at him, let off a little, or you know, like one of those when you pull your faces going, do you know what we're doing here? And he's like, nah. And then we both get sat in the office, and I knew the second I sat down what it was about, because they had my video up on the computer, and I was just thinking, oh fuck. Like, even at this point though, I still remember thinking, I don't see like what's wrong. Isn't freedom of speech a thing? Well, apparently not in school. Like, I do think there is something to say, like, you can't just say whatever you want in school, or about slander school. Boring. So my video's just there, and we sit there, and with like I don't even think it was the head teacher, it was like the second in charge teacher, the deputy head or deputy principal, and they've got my video up. We watch through it, and me and my mate are just laughing the whole time. Like, genuinely, the video wasn't even that funny, but I think there was something funny about being in trouble for the video. So we're laughing the entire time watching this video, and you can just see the teacher's face just getting redder and redder as they're getting angrier and angrier, but we can't help ourselves. And in the end, what I'd really messed up on, they were like, look, if you weren't in your school uniform that has the school logo's badge on it, you would probably get away with this. So yeah, obviously everyone can see my school badge, can see what's going on, and then they've reported it to the school. And I remember they said, look, we're going to decide your punishment, so go back to your lesson. And by this point, it had now been like quite a while. I must have been in the office for like 2 or 3 hours before they sent me back to my lesson to decide the punishment. And I've gone and sat in the science lesson, and I was fuming that they could even say that I'm in trouble just for literally making a YouTube video. Like, how? So I'm sat there, and the teacher's come up to me, and I really like this science teacher, and she said to me, she's like, look, just write a letter, say you're sorry, and go take it to them. And I was like, nah, not doing it. Why should I say I'm sorry? And she was like, look, just do it. I'll sit here. I'll write the letter with you. So me and her wrote this bullshit letter of me grovelling, going, yeah, I'm really sorry for making a video about the school. I didn't realise it would offend it. She was like, right, I'll let you go out of my lesson. Go find our head teacher and go give him the letter, and I reckon he'll be all right. So I'm thinking, oh, fine. And to be fair, I was more willing to do this because I didn't want to get in trouble at home, because I was like, God, this is the last thing I need. Like, summer's about to come up. Like, what if my parents proper kick off about this? So I've written the letter, I've gone and found our head teacher, and I'm thinking I'm going to look like God's gift. Like, I'm just going to go over there, I'm going to hand in this letter, just be like, yo, what's up? Really sorry, mate. Here's a letter. Shows you how sorry I am. You're going to let me off. Mate, the bloke didn't care. I remember he just stood there, ripped up the letter in front of me and walked off. And I was like, what? That is so dark. And then a couple of days later, I get called in for a meeting with my parents and the school, and they're like, we're trying to decide what his punishment is. And then they just decided to kick me out for a week. Ridiculous. So yeah, that was the time that I was kicked out of school for making a YouTube video. But the other part is as I mentioned at the start, because I was doing these science GCSEs, I was actually kicked out for one of them. So I was like, well, what am I meant to do here? Like, I've got to do these exams. And it was absolutely unreal for me. While everyone else had to be in school all day and do these horrible exams, I would just had to rock up, do the exams, and then leave. It was perfect. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow to doss around on a bit more Minecraft.